Discipline enables a person to do that which needs to be done, which is also my definition of a professional, no matter how he feels within.
And fight trainer.
The physical part of boxing is so minor that most people would never believe it or accept it.
James for the untouchable, true school sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. Alright, Brennan Taylor here, True School Sports. I'm with the one and only Jason Noble. Well, good to have you on the channel, Jason. Obviously, you're here in camp with Angelo. You've been sparring him, giving him good rounds, you know, giving them that real gunslinging, awkward style. But Jason, you got your own career. You know, tell people who is Jason Noble.
I'm Jason, born and raised in El Paso, Texas. I spent about 4 years in Vegas, you know, pursuing my dream of boxing. I'm living back in El Paso right now, still making it work. Other than that, shoot, I don't know what else.
I mentioned your style, man. You got like a real style. You got a real awkward style. You throw punches from the floor, the ceiling, over here, over there, everywhere. What does this style come from, man? Your boxing style?
I don't know. It doesn't really come from anywhere in particular. You know what I mean? Just how I fight. You know, I love just coming forward. You know, I love coming forward, and you know, I have that God-given natural, you know, hard-hitting ability. Mm-hmm. So, you know, both of those things work out for me. You know, I just try and get my shots off where I can. Yeah. Really, where I see them, you know, that's where I'll be throwing. You know, but the uppercut is my favorite. For sure.
I know Venado might be awkward, but he ain't as awkward as my boy Jason right here, man.
Yep.
As far as your weight, what's your weight class right now? What you campaign at?
Right now I'm trying to fight at 130, 135, okay. So lightweight.
Super featherweight, so okay.
Yeah.
I know you know Angelo for a long time, like Angelo, because you were at me with a boxing gym.
Yeah.
A boxing club. What's your history like with Angelo Leo? Like, take it from the beginning to now. What's the history like?
So, you know, me and him both moved to Vegas over in 2017, and before I started at the Mayweather gym, I was shopping around at different boxing gyms before I really got settled in Vegas, and I was training at UNLV, and I would see him and his dad working out there. Funny enough, I would actually see, I think I actually saw Angelo at Planet Fitness once.
Really?
Yeah, you know, and obviously this was before, you know, the boxing titles, and this is probably right when he just got signed with Mayweather Promotions. So, you know, I met him through there. You know, we got a few pictures, you know, probably in 2017 in the beginning, and then we started working at the Mayweather gym, and you know, he would see me around, and finally one day him and his dad asked me if I could help him out with some sparring. So, you know, sure enough, you know, my trainer threw me in. We got our rounds in, and then it just went from there. You know, he kept asking me for sparring, and I just became a sparring partner for a bunch of his fights leading up to his title eliminator.
Okay.
Do you know
Cesar Rocky Juarez, the Mexican fighter he fought?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cesar Juarez, yep.
Yeah, so up to his fights there and a little bit after, and then, you know, COVID hit, and I wasn't able to help him out with the world title one, just because I was sick in the hospital with COVID at that time.
Okay.
Do you believe being in camp with Angelo and getting to know him a little bit more on a personal level, do you believe like throughout this whole camp, like you've become more closer to him, to his family, and you know, to his friends and stuff like that?
Oh, definitely, of course, yeah. You know, I've been here a little over 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks, and you know, we're all cramped here in this little cabin together, so you know, we don't have a choice.
6 dudes, one bathroom type. You know.
Yeah. You know, sleeping on the floor, sleeping on the couches, so you know, we don't have a choice but to get close, and there's honestly nothing like just getting in a ring with a dude and just beating each other up. You know, there's nothing like that. You know, that's a good way to get close to somebody for sure. You know, and get the respect out of them too. You know, so I'm glad to have been out here and gotten closer with, you know, the friends and family.
Do you feel it's actually leveled you up at all as a fighter? I'm sure it has, to a degree.
Of course. Yeah. You know, I think as a fighter you have to take, you know, every chance you can get, every little thing to improve on yourself. Because if not, then what are you in this game for?
Yeah.
You know, here I'm trying to be like a sponge and absorb everything that I can. You know,
Correct.
down from the business to the fighting game to the mechanics. You know, just to how it all works behind the scenes. You know, leading up to a big fight like this. You know, yeah, I'm trying to absorb as much as I can.
For sure. And speaking of absorbing, I know one thing we've been absorbing because we've been watching this guy every single day is the Venado Lopez.
Oh yeah.
What do you make of the fights like style wise? I know he's awkward, gunslinger, kind of like you are. What do you think about Angelo versus Venado?
Well, you know, yeah, we have definitely seen my fair share of his fights, and honestly, I feel like he really is kind of one dimensional. Like he doesn't have a lot of tricks, and even the things that he is one dimensional at, he doesn't even do them very good either. You know, I think Angelo has a ton of tricks up his sleeve. You know, I've been a sparring partner for not just this camp, but for other multiple camps, and you know, he's just really hard to hit in general.
Yeah,
you know,
got good legs.
He's got good legs, and he's got some power too. He's got some pop behind those
It's
punches.
crazy. A lot of people probably wouldn't even believe it because a lot of people they just look at like a box rack and they say that the K ratio isn't the highest.
Yeah.
So they say, well, what power are you talking about? You know?
Yeah, you know, I think one thing too is that Angelo is really accurate with his shots.
Yeah.
With the placement on where it's going to be, and I think that, you know, that makes the difference for sure. And especially, you know, with this camp, he looks huge. He looks humongous. So, I mean, that's going to play a factor, you know.
Yeah.
Honestly, he looks bigger than Venado in his other fights.
Yeah. I mean, I won't get too deep into it. All I'll say is this: when one of my favorite parts of that fight week is going to be the weigh-in, because I think people are going to see Angelo and say, "Damn, who's this guy?" You know, that'll be fun. But
yeah.
Well, one thing I know that he was doing for camp was doing those 400 push-ups every day.
I want to mention it when you mentioned it. You know, he's doing a lot of push-ups.
Yeah, and that's something. Shoot, that's something I'm gonna want to try and take with me back home.
To El Paso.
Oh hell yeah! You know, I'm trying and work my way up to 400 to 500 push-ups like he is. You know,
for sure.
You know, I'm trying to watch him as close as I can and pick up on everything that he does, so I can add that to my own. You know, my own training camp when I get in there.
You had an interesting quote, like one of the first days I talked to you. It was late at night, and you were saying, because you know you're not, you know, you're 28, so you got to kind of get things moving.
Yeah.
You said, you know, I want to make my run in boxing.
Yeah.
I want to make my run in boxing. So like, when you start making that run in boxing, people do see Jason Lugo and you do get on the TV screens and whatnot. What can people expect from Jason? Like, what kind of fight are they gonna get out of you?
Oh man, you know, first off, a very exciting fighter.
Friendly fighter.
That's what everyone says about me, you know, and that's not something I try and that's not something I try to do. You know, it's just something I am. Yeah, I feel like I'm a very exciting fighter. You know, they're gonna definitely see that. You know, I have some power to me. They're gonna see the way I move, the angles. You know, so when I get my run going on, I think it's going to be a really exciting thing to see for a lot of people. Definitely.
I'll tell you all this. I mean, I'm watching him do rounds with Angelo like every other day, and you don't know what the hell he's going to do. You know, it's unpredictable. You know, so it's a lot of fun. Kind of going back to your time in Vegas. Apart from Angelo, who are maybe some of the other pros that you have sparred with that people would know?
Floyd, Cashflow Diaz.
Okay, yeah.
I got a sparring session in with him before he turned pro. Who else? I know we were talking about this the other day.
We were talking about it the other day.
Yeah.
Rolly?
No, I never got any sparring with Rolly though. No, I do kind of. If the opportunity came up, I would have for sure jumped in there. Oh, Andres Cortes.
There you go. Good fighter. Good
I sparred him a couple times because we were on the same team. We had the same trainer. That guy cracks for sure.
Yeah, he's he's knocking on the door of a world title, so you know, really good fighter.
Long overdue.
Yeah.
Long overdue for sure. Who else have I gotten in there with?
Didn't you say Ladarius Miller? Or was that somebody else?
Rocky Marzan, you said.
With Rock, what's his name? Rocky
Marzan.
Rocky Marzan.
I think he's got like 7-8 fights.
Yeah, I got some work in with him. Okay, for sure. Ladarius Miller, I never sparred. No,
Did you ever get any rounds with Curmel?
No, I didn't. But that's because when I was at the gym that time, he was still a little kid. Yeah, but that's not to say. That's not to take away from him, because I did see him spar somebody around my age, and he put the fucking hands on that guy.
You told me a story. You said he was a little ass kid
and
beating up grown ass men.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old do you think he was?
Dude, he looked like he was like 12, beating up like a 21-year-old.
I remember you said you sparred Roscoe too, right?
Roscoe Hill.
Roscoe Hill.
Roscoe's in the Olympics.
He's in the
Yeah.
Olympics, so.
Yeah, he was actually one of the first people I sparred with at the Mayweather gym, for sure, and that was some really good work too, because to me that was kind of that was like my, okay, let's see how I do against these really high level guys.
Who can really box too.
Yeah, and I mean, shoot, I surprised myself. I gave him some really good work, and at the end he told me, he's like, man, you got me really tired, because I mean, you just kept coming after me. You didn't give me a chance to breathe. So that was some really good work.
That sounds accurate. That's the kind of fighter I've seen in sparring and whatnot. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I know too. Like you had a just doing my research about you. You mentioned COVID. You were in the hospital for a little bit. You had some, you could say, health scares to a degree, right?
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Talk about that.
So back when COVID first broke out, this was probably around late May, actually no, early June 7th, I remember the date, is when I officially got sick, and I was training for a fight. Now this is my boxing saved my life story.
Talk to him.
Cliche. Let's go.
I was training for a fight. This was going to be like my last amateur fight at that time. So I was training for a fight at that time, and I was doing everything I could. And back then things were unpredictable. You didn't know when things were going to start back up and things like that. So I was staying ready. I was doing my running, my sprints. I was doing my shadow at home. My conditioning was up here. It was the best it could be. And during that time, I decided to go back home to El Paso to visit some family for a little bit. Because why not? I wasn't working or anything. I had all the time in the world. So I went over there, hung out with the family, did my thing. And, on the way back, the way back was the only time when I was alone. And that's when I was on an airplane. And I think that's where I got sick.
Okay.
So when I got back home, that same night, went back. I never stopped training even when I went to El Paso, but I picked it back up that same night, did 200 floors on the Stairmaster, and then went home, and that's when I started getting the chills. Well, fast forward, just maybe 2 weeks later, I'm in the hospital, hooked up to machines, a breathing tube, real thick, and I can't even go to the bathroom by myself without being out of breath, coughing attacks, and the doctors were telling me, they were trying to be real short with me, and I was even there on my birthday. I ended up spending a week in there, 7 days exactly, in the hospital, and everybody was shocked because that was June of 2020. That around that time, it was still kind of rare to hear about people you knew getting COVID.
Yeah.
And not only did I have COVID, I had pneumonia on top of that. So, pneumonia by itself is killer, and to have that on top of COVID, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, when I got out of the hospital, all the doctors were really excited. They're like, we're really shocked that you made that recovery so fast, and especially with the way you came in, we've seen people come in not as sick as you and come out way worse, so we're glad to see that you recovered so fast and so strong. And even with that being said, though, cleaning my room when I went back home that day, I was exhausted.
It's hard.
It was hard. I got sick in June, and I didn't feel better till August.
Damn.
Yeah, but I still tried pushing myself. The first day I got home, I was doing squats and push-ups, and I was trying to build my lungs back up and run. So, I really pushed myself, and, long story short, I think that's why boxing kind of saved my life, because, I was training for that fight, And in a way, I feel
Debut,
like,
yeah.
in a way, I feel like I was rewarded, you know, with all my hard work and dedication. Because if I had never been to boxing, who knows? You know, I might have been a smoker, a drinker, someone that never goes for runs.
Got kind of party life or something.
And,
like that.
and who knows what the COVID would have did to me if I was that kind of person, you know.
You won your fight outside the ring.
Definitely,
Correct,
you know.
correct.
So I think boxing rewarded me, and that gave me an even bigger love for the sport because it rewarded me with a second chance at life. And now I feel like I have to repay boxing,
yeah.
you know, for that debt that I owe to it.
Yeah, I fully understand that story. That's why I'm doing these interviews. That's why I'm covering boxing the way I am, because boxing saved my life in a lot of ways too. Jason, I know you had your pro debut. It didn't go according to plan, but you know, a lot of fighters, a lot of great fighters, they didn't win their pro debut.
Yeah.
A lot of great fighters. Bernard Hopkins
Bernard
won
Hopkins.
one.
Yeah,
Marquez on
definitely.
one, and obviously, it sounds like you have the right attitude. You know, the impression I get from you being in camp is you have strong character, which I told you. But look, people know who you are a little bit now. Any final message you want to give to them?
I wanted to say, you said you fight at like 130, correct?
Yeah.
Out of all the fighters, 130, obviously the champions, anyone that like you could see yourself fighting in the near future, like if you look at yourself like, hey, I would love to share the ring with this guy, like to fight him in the near future, who do you think you'd like to fight?
Oh man, it's definitely too early for me to say, you know. Definitely too early, you know, because I still wanna put myself out there still and kind of build up to it, you know. But I mean, shoot, you know, I'm in the fighting game, so anybody can really get it, you know what I mean?
Anyone can get the smoke.
You know, it's not about ducking people; it's about fighting the best. So you know, throw them at me, whoever they are.
And another thing I wanna put out there is you guys are doing the interview together. But one thing I've noticed as you guys have met each other, and it's been like what about a week, I noticed that you guys have developed a pretty good friendship that I hope that they could tell through the camera.
Oh no, Jason's
You know,
cool.
yeah.
I wish more people would like Jason. Jason's just cool. He's like, you know, I mean, I don't know how everybody else is in El Paso, but I hope they're like Jason.
Yeah.
They're
You guys
cool,
hit it
yeah.
out. You guys hit it off real.
It's cool.
You guys hit it off real quick. You know,
Yeah, so,
Of course, well, I mean, hey, we're all cool people here, you know.
good gente, as they would say.
Bueno
gente,
bueno gente.
Bueno gente, as they say in Mexico. But Jason, any final message you want to give to the boxing fans out there that are just now finding out who you are and watching the interview?
Definitely keep an eye out for my name, Jason Lugo. I'll be rising up through the ranks, of course, you know. You know, I'm working here with Angelo, so that says something about me, you know, of course. So I live in El Paso, you know, but I'm willing to go anywhere, you know, anywhere to deliver these hands.
Yeah.
You know, it's for training, sparring, fighting, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Keep an eye out there for me.
Keep an eye out from Jason Lugo. Thank you.
Drop your Instagram for the fans,
Yeah,
man, so they can follow you.
J-Bizzle, J_BIIZZLE.
Is there a reason why your name is Jay Bizzle?
Yeah, there is actually.
What's the reason for that?
So I've had the same username since high school, and this is back when I was on Snapchat.
Okay.
And funny enough, Kylie Jenner, she had first made her Snapchat username, and her username was Kylizzle my nizzle.
Oh man.
So I was like, I kind of got it from that, you know. I got a little inspiration
Okay.
from that.
Hey, big ups to Kylie Jenner.
Shout out to Kylie Jenner.
She gotta come out to the fight.
Yeah.
Jason's fights.
If she likes any boxers, you know,
Jason,
give him a shot.
Alright,
Give him a
that's
shot,
the
man.
Yeah.
All right.
Alright.
Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. I'm at the Boxing Hall of Fame out here in Canterbury, New York. And for more great boxing content just like this video, make sure you click and subscribe right over here.